So in front of me here, I have what is one of the most recent Great Eastern Cutlery runs, and this is the 48 pattern. They're calling this the Slim Dog Jack. It's kind of like a trapper pattern. It's got a clip blade, but then they got rid of the most people consider useless spay blade. So it's actually like a trapper that I'll probably enjoy and carry and use and stuff. Um, but let me show it off a little bit here. So it's got this handle material that they're calling that Great Eastern Cutlery is calling Garnet ESPL, which I don't know what that means. Um, but it's kind of this like purplish red colored. It almost looks like paper micarta or like rich light or something, like some sort of layered synthetic material. It looks good. It looks really good. I like the color because it's like a purplish red almost, and purple's my favorite color. Unfortunately, I don't think my camera's going to do a very good job showing what color this actually is. It's probably going to come off more red, um, but it does look very good, I have to say. I got this from Collector Knives for the best price that I've seen so far on these. That being said, this will probably be the cheapest run of these 48s, and I think I paid around 140 for it. So the prices for Great Eastern Cutlery knives is creeping up, but as that's happening, it seems like they're becoming more easily available. At least on the at least like from distributors and stuff, like not on the secondary market nonsense that we've all been having to deal with for the past few years here. Trying to see if I can adjust my light a little better. I don't know if I can. Anyway, so that's good. I've gotten two of the three last runs. So I got two 13s and I've got one of these. So I got in on two of the last three runs, I think, and I wasn't interested in the pocket carvers. I know they're very popular with some people. I don't really whittle, so for me, it's kind of like, I don't need a pocket carver. I don't have much use for it. Knives put together really well, pretty much like you expect from Great Eastern Cutlery. No gaps or anything. I really do like this handle material. Like I said, I think it looks good. My knife did come with some scratches on it, probably just from being handled and stuff. Maybe even like the wax paper and like the pin and stuff. Maybe rubbed up against it. Cool pin. One of these days, I have to take down my little like pin display that I created 2 years ago and add a bunch of new pins to it because I've gotten a bunch. But cool pin. It's got a little greyhound dog on it there, slim dog jack, and the model number there. Really cool little pin. Let me show you the tube art as well. Um, cool tube art. Has like a gray greyhound dog, or yeah, that's what they're called, right? Greyhounds, I believe so. Um, Dog there chasing after a rabbit. Slim dog Jack. You can see there's a hunter there on his horse in the background. Very English looking scene here. Um, Here in America, we just shoot animals. We don't have dogs chase them down and rip them apart like they do over there, which is kind of barbaric for the dog and the animal that's being ripped apart. Although I guess the dog's probably having one hell of a time. But yeah, over here we just tend to hunt with guns and shoot the animal. Don't use dogs to hunt. Besides like bird hunting, but that's a little different. But anyway, back to the knife. It's trapper pattern. Um, Blades do have half stops. The action on this one's really good, I have to say. Etch on the blade. Another greyhound dog. Full sprint. Full sprint that dog's in right there. He's about to win a race. You can tell. Look at him. Determined. Determination. Full sprint. So kind of a neat little etch there. Some people don't like etches. cool thing about an etch, you get a little bit of polishing compound. You can rub that right off there. Or if you use the knife to cut stuff, it'll disappear eventually. I like etches. I think they're kind of cool. Now, this isn't necessarily my favorite etch, but again, I mean, I'm planning on carrying this knife and everything, which is why I'm doing the video on it the day that I received the knife, so that I can carry it and everything. Because I always like to do these videos before I carry the knives, because with traditional pocket knives, they really change when you carry them. And I don't so much do reviews as I do videos just showing off pocket knives. Maybe someday I'll get back into the reviewing knives game, but it's a lot of work. Um, anyway, Greyhound full sprint etch there. You can see Titty Cutlery Tang stamp. My favorite trim of Great Eastern Cutlery knives, Titty, because they're more basic. You got your satin blades and stuff. Usually more basic handle materials, jig bone, micarta, stuff like that. Model number there, 48, 82, 24. 48 is, of course, the pattern. 8, I think, is the blade shape, which I guess that must be like California clip or whatever you want to call this blade shape here. 2 for 2 blades, and then 24 for the year it was produced, 2024. Like I said, blade has half stops. Action is really good. And then instead of the spade blade that a lot of people would consider to be pretty useless, including myself, unless it's a cool big spade blade like they put on like jumbo trappers, then I dig the spade blade. But the typical spade blade that you get on most trappers, I'm not a big fan of. But you get a nice little, well, it's not really little, it's a pretty big pen blade actually. Like in the world of pen blades, it's over 2 inches. So, like, it's a pretty big pen blade. Reminds me a little bit of the pen blade that came on the 44s. I think it's kind of a similar size there. I never measured the main blade. Let's do that. We might as well do that while I have the knife out here. Main blade's a little over 3 inches. You can get about 2 3/4 inch cutting edge, a little more than 2 3/4 inch cutting edge there. Um, nice size knife. Overall, it's probably about what, 3.5, 3 3/4, a little more than that. A little more than 3 3/4, maybe 3 7/8, something like that. Closed, good size for pocket knife, I'd say. In most people's like golden area, Goldilocks zone. It's in most people's perfect porridge zone when it comes to pocket knives. It'll, it's substantial in your hand. You can get all your fingers around it and everything, and it feels good. But it'll also go in your pocket really easily and not be annoying. Although I'm quite the fan of carrying larger knives, but this is a good size for a pocket knife. Got your houndstooth shield. It's funny because I just commented on a Mike Moran post. If you guys don't know Mike, he makes custom knives. He's also one of the guys on that Catch Bit podcast show, which I listened to the whole time we were on our little trip to Virginia, because my girlfriend put up with it, and she preferred that over the comedy podcasts I like to listen to. But anyway, Mike Moran posted a picture of his, I think his 200th knife is what it was. And it had a very similar houndstooth shield on it. But I didn't realize that these have this little bump back here. So I commented on it and I said, I like your carrot shield. So this has a carrot shield on it. It's now what that is. This isn't a houndstooth shield. It's a carrot shield because of this little bump here. I've decided it. But anyway, nickel silver bolster and cap, brass pins, nickel silver shield. I can tell by the way it's very easily scratched up there by something in the tube. Brass liners, steel back springs, all that. Blades 1095 carbon steel, just like they should be. Right here it even says 1095 carbon steel, frozen forged, hammer tested. I don't know what any of that means, but Bill likes to put them on his tubes occasionally. Blade centering, pretty good. I think the clip might be slightly off to one side. They might both be slightly off to one side. It's pretty close, so I'm going to call it centered. I don't believe this has blade play, either blade. Clip does not have blade play. And I'm pretty sure the pen doesn't either. I checked all this. Yeah, no blade play, so I'm happy about that. The action on the pen blade's a little bit still good, but it's a little bit less nice than the main blade. But it should be that way. Great Eastern Cutlery does usually use different size springs. Let's see if I can show that off here. See your main springs. Having a light to try to show this off makes this a little complicated sometimes, and then your phone doesn't want to focus right. But you can see here, this main blade spring is a little bit wider than the spring they use for the pen blade. And of course, that's, by design to make the, bigger blade have a better action. And the pen blade, which we're not so worried about having the best action and being super pulley and snappy and strong and stuff, because it's a pen blade, you're using it to sharpen your pen quill. Isn't super snappy, but it's still really good action. It's really smooth and everything. I haven't put any mineral oil in this yet either, so it'll probably just continue to smooth out and everything. Um, but overall, just a really good looking knife. Um, I think the 48 is one of those patterns that it's like you either really like it or don't like it at all. And I've never had a 48 before, and it seemed like this was a good blade combination for me. Because I like having two blades on a pocket knife most of the time. Two, maybe even three blades. Just because it gives you, options and everything. You can use your main blade and then just save that pen blade for making sure you always have a sharp blade or, whatever. Maybe use one blade for food and one blade for all your nasty stuff. Um, because you don't really want to be cutting up your sandwiches in half with the same blade that you just, I don't know, pruned a bush or something with outside. Of course, you wouldn't really want to do that with a pen blade, I guess. But you have options. Two blades are nice because you have options. Of course, I do often carry single blade knives, but that's besides the point. But anyway, the Slim Dog Jack, I'm super happy with. I really like it. This will probably be going in my pocket tomorrow because I'm very excited to carry it and everything. But yeah, I think it's a nice little knife. I'm happy to see Great Eastern Cutlery knives being more available, even if they are a little bit more money from retailers or dealers, whatever you want to call them, just because having them available on the uh, first market, on the retail market instead of the secondary market, even if you have to pay like, $30 more, $30, $40 more, it's still better than only being able to, it's still better than like the regular person only being able to get them on the secondary market. Because with secondary market pricing and Great Eastern Cutlery, it's kind of like, well, hey, this knife that was, $80, now somebody's selling it or trying to sell it for $300 on eBay. Um, so, you kind of get what you get. I would prefer the dealers and Great Eastern Cutlery to be making the money than the people that buy the knives and then sell them at a 3 or 4 times markup immediately after the knife was released. Now, if you do that with a knife that's, years old, it's a little different. And I get it. Still don't love to see it, but I get it at that point. But the people that buy the knives that just came out and then immediately try to flip them for 4 times the cost of the knife is a little disheartening. And I'm glad to see that it seems like either Great Eastern Cutlery is making more knives, which I don't think is the case, or the slight increase in prices has warded off some of those people that aren't actually in it for the knives. They're in it for the profit. Um, so hopefully it's warded off some of those people, and we'll all be able to go back to getting our hands on Great Eastern Cutlery knives easier, while also still supporting Great Eastern Cutlery and still seeing them do well. It's kind of a fine line. You know, you want Great Eastern Cutlery to do well because they make such a good knife and everything, but you also want to be able to get the knives, which is hard because Great Eastern Cutlery is not a huge company. They don't have a whole bunch of employees. So they either need to make a whole lot of knives to make it so that they're doing well and so, everybody can get one, or they need to charge more for their knives, which I don't know if that's what they're doing, but that's certainly what the dealers are doing, it seems. Um, like I said, I got this on collector knives. I'm having a brain aneurysm. I got this on collector knives for like 140, and that was the cheapest that I saw them. I saw a lot hovering around 170, which is I wasn't willing to pay that when I got the collector knives thing and I saw it was 140. I went ahead and jumped on that because I did want one of these. I just wasn't really willing to pay the 170 for it. But I'm glad to see the knives hanging around a little bit longer, and I hope that trend continues. Great Eastern Cutlery is right now, or has been, teasing an electrician's knife, it seems. So I'm kind of hoping something cool will happen there and I'll be able to get one of them, but we'll see. But anyway, that's enough Great Eastern Cutlery talk. 48 Slim Dog Jack seems to be a wonderful little knife here. I quite like it so far. Uh, so I'm going to plan on carrying this quite a bit. Um, but I like it. It seems to be really well made. I like the blade combination. I even like the little greyhound in a full dead sprint etch there. Represents the determination of the working man or something. Um, and certainly pretty cool tube art there too. Um, but yeah, cool knife. Happy with it. Always good to see Great Eastern Cutlery putting out another um, good product, which I think that's all they make really is good products. But yeah, it's going to be it for this video on the Great Eastern Cutlery 48 Slim Dog Jack here. I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one.